I am not a bounty hunter.
I've heard otherwise. I know that you sit on the throne of your former employer.
Jabba ruled with fear. I intend to rule with respect.
You were all once captains under Jabba the Hutt.
I'm here to make a proposal that's mutually beneficial. Why speak of conflict when cooperation can make us all rich?
What prevents us all from killing you and taking what we want?
If you had spoken such insolence to Jabba, he'd have fed you to his menagerie.
Please. Speak freely.
Welcome back, everyone. Star Wars just dropped the Book of Boba Fett trailer. We'll break it all down. It's the Mandalorian spin-off. It's basically like the Mandalorian Season 2.5, so it'll feature a lot of characters from the Mandalorian series. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all the episodes. I will be doing full episode videos for this. There's supposed to be 6 episodes total, obviously starting to air December 29th. I'll just start at the beginning of this footage and go through shot by shot, talk about Easter eggs, WTF moments, and what's going on with the other characters, and what's going on with the Mandalorian characters in The Mandalorian Season 3. So just charting the timeline, this basically picks up a very, very short time jump after the end of The Mandalorian Season 2. Like, not a lot of time has passed. Like, there was a little bit of a time jump for them to go back to Tattooine to Jabba's palace after Grogu left with Luke Skywalker and R2-D2 to start his Jedi training, and after Djarin, Mando went with the Darksaber, the other Mandalorians, and Moff Gideon in tow to take him to a New Republic prison. So in that post-credit scene, he comes back to Jabba's palace and basically kills Bib Fortuna, taking Jabba's throne and taking over Jabba's criminal empire, but it's easier said than done. Like, you see him having these meetings with Jabba's former captains. You could also make the comparison to what happened to the Empire after it was believed that the Emperor had died. Obviously, we know differently now. Power abhors a vacuum. Unless someone more powerful is able to come along and bring all the captains to heel, usually the organization falls apart and everyone kind of splits off into their own territory, just grabbing as much power as they can. That's basically what happened to the Empire. Like, Moff Gideon came along, and Moff Gideon was trying to rally what was left of the Empire. But even though it seems like he's going to be rotting in prison, the Empire we know isn't going to fall apart because Grand Admiral Thrawn is out there to really rally the rest of the Empire around the galaxy. We'll see more of him during The Mandalorian Season 3, probably some more teasers for him, and then during the Ahsoka series that they're getting ready to film. They also just announced that Hayden Christensen is coming back as Darth Vader and Anakin Skywalker for the Ahsoka series, so I'll do a separate video about that at some point. Everybody hoping for Anakin and Ahsoka in live action. They're gonna pay that off. But they actually start the trailer with one of the spider droids from Jabba's palace on Tatooine, because most of the series seems like it's going to take place in and around Tatooine. So this is a B-16 spider droid. If you're not familiar with the lore or you never read Tales from Jabba's Palace, it's basically a brain from one of the Bomar monks inside a spider droid's body to help it get around. They're like an order of monks that try to become very enlightened and shed their physical form, so they literally eventually take their brains out of their bodies and put them on jars inside their monasteries. But when they need to get around, they just attach the canisters that their brains are in to these spider droids. So these are basically just like mobility droids for the brains in the jars. Then I'm assuming the Ithorian that he's talking to during the trailer, who's asking him about being a bounty hunter, is some lesser crime lord on Tatooine. Like, you see this giant wide cityscape. I think this is another city somewhere else on Tatooine that we haven't been before. He and Fennec Shand go to visit this Ithorian, and he's asking him about being a bounty hunter. And when he said, "I'm not a bounty hunter," I was actually kind of expecting him to say, "I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the galaxy." But throughout the trailer, they're just trying to hype up Boba Fett going around to what was left of Jabba's criminal empire, all the lieutenants, all the captains, to try and hold them together within the organization. I think the droid handing him his helmet is one of the pit droids from Phantom Menace. We also saw those during The Mandalorian Season 1 and Season 2. Speaking of helmets, you also notice that most of this trailer features him taking his helmet on and off in broad daylight. Another big difference from the Mandalorian series with Din Djarin. But they kind of explained that during The Mandalorian Season 2 when he met Bo-Katan Kryze, and she kind of had to explain to him, no, you're the crazy one, we take our helmets off all the time, Mandalorians do that all the time. It basically explained to him that he came from this crazy zealot sect of Mandalorians. They kind of implied during The Mandalorian Season 1 that those were the Death Watch Mandalorians, which Bo-Katan was also part of for a brief period. Or if they weren't the Death Watch Mandalorians, they were a group within the Death Watch Mandalorians that broke off, like extra hardcore Death Watch Mandalorians. Either way, that was just a way to show you in future seasons why we're going to be seeing way more Mandalorians who all take their helmets off all the time. I'm not sure who's playing this Ithorian crime lord, but the voice sounds kind of familiar. Love the way all the regular townspeople here just stare at him and Fennec Shand as he walks by, because everybody recognizes Boba Fett's armor. Even if they've never met him, they know him by reputation. I also love that this Ithorian crime lord has a Twi'lek serving him, the same way that Bib Fortuna served Jabba, who Boba Fett just killed to take Jabba's throne, as the Ithorian says here. I hear you sit on the throne of your former employer because you just killed his assistant who was also sitting on his throne. Not sure if this scene of the big Mexican three-way standoff they're having is also inside another part of Jabba's palace or some other part of Tatooine, but you see the Gamorrean guards in the background. In most times when you see Gamorrean guards in the trailer, it's inside other places of Jabba's palace. That's another one of the big differences you see with the way they filmed Jabba's palace in this trailer, is they show all kinds of other places that we never visited during the original trilogy. They're just trying to convey that it's a really, really big palace with a lot of different rooms. He talks about ruling with respect instead of ruling with fear like Jabba did, trying to form a more business-like relationship with all of his former captains. So amongst Jabba's former captains, we have some Transdoshans here, some Tattooians, those are the ones that have the dog faces, and then some Aqualish. Because we're on Tatooine, of course, they're going to bring back the Tusken Raiders. They feature them during Season 1 and Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I think they're just trying to show you how he's trying to be more rational about this, more business-like than someone like Jabba. Less impulsive like Jabba during Return of the Jedi, sending everybody to the Rancor, because Fennec Shand, right after this, mentions Jabba's menagerie, which the Rancor was part of. Jabba had a whole zoo of all kinds of crazy exotic animals from all across the galaxy. But they do intercut separate footage of him just going all ham on these other guards in this other city with that club weapon he was using during The Mandalorian Season 2 to smash up the stormtroopers. So now I know a lot of you are asking what's going on with the Mandalorian Din Djarin himself. There are rumors that he's going to show up during these episodes like a cameo scene for continuity. What's going on with Grogu and Luke Skywalker right now? Basically, Grogu has just started his Jedi training. There was some promo art of him constructing his lightsaber with Luke Skywalker using a yellow crystal, and it's official promo art that Lucasfilm released. So it definitely makes it sound like the next time we see Grogu, or at some point during The Mandalorian Season 3 or Season 4, or during the Ahsoka series, we will see Grogu with a tiny Yoda-sized lightsaber. Yellow crystals are used by Jedi who become Jedi Sentinels, Jedi who balance their combat skills with academic pursuits, like academic Jedi pursuits. Temple guards also use yellow Jedi crystals as well. As far as the plot with the Darksaber and Bo-Katan Kryze, the other Mandalorians, she's still trying to rally more supplies, more ships, steal more back from the Empire to rally her forces so that they can retake Mandalore, the planet, back. The way they set that plot up during The Mandalorian Season 2 made it sound like it was going to be the endgame of the Mandalorian series, like that would be one of their big final battles against Grand Admiral Thrawn. There is supposed to be a big crossover event that all the Mandalorian spin-offs are building up to, but they didn't say when that's going to happen. But Din Djarin still has to have it out with Bo-Katan Kryze over the Darksaber, but now because he possesses the Darksaber, he sort of has a claim to the throne of Mandalore, even though he himself doesn't want it. It's very Game of Thrones Jon Snow energy. I don't want it. So what'll probably happen in the short term with Bo-Katan Kryze in Mando is that she'll just use him as sort of like a puppet leader, but she'll be the one calling the shots. The whole thing with Moff Gideon is that he'll just be chilling out in a New Republic prison until Grand Admiral Thrawn's forces come to break him out. As far as the Mandalorian Season 3 episodes, I believe that they've started filming already, so they'll probably release those episodes around this time next year. But if you spotted any other Easter eggs or you have any other big questions about what's going on with the Book of Boba Fett episodes or the Mandalorian, just let me know in the comments below and I'll try to add that to my future bonus videos. We're supposed to get the Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi episodes next year, as well as the Star Wars Rogue One prequel series, the Andor series. So next year, we might actually have 3 separate live-action Star Wars series premiering. While you wait for everything, everyone click here for my brand new Spider-Man No Way Home first look breakdown of the Green Goblin, and click here for my new Spider-Man Morbius trailer video and Easter eggs. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.